My name is Atul Kochhar. I'm a chef patron of Kanishka restaurant in Mayfair. We opened this restaurant early March in 2019. So it's a new journey, and we are about to open another restaurant in Westminster later this year in September, and that will be called Mathura. So I was born and bred in India. My family comes from North India, Punjabis. Around partition, my family migrated to East India. My grandfather was a baker, my mom's father, and my dad's father was an entrepreneur. I never got to see him because my dad's father passed away when he was 3 years old. Then my mom and dad met in Jamshedpur, got married. 6 of us came along, 4 sisters, 1 younger brother. I grew up in a family full of fun, food. My dad trained as an engineer, but later changed to food business, and he started a small catering business. As a child, I grew up looking at my grandfather stoking those wood-fired ovens, making beautiful breads, screaming and shouting on his workers. He was a perfectionist. And my father, on the other side, very calm person, had a decent brigade and managed everything like an orchestra operator. And I learned a lot at home. In the era when everyone was going to become a doctor, engineer, lawyer, I whispered in my dad's ears that I want to become a chef. He smiled. He kind of knew that that could happen one day, but there was a bigger job to do to convince the rest of the family, especially my mom. She was a teacher, an academic. Other 4 sisters, they were toppers in the university and the college in their own classes. But when I told my mom that I'm going to a hotel school, not to a medical school where I already had a seat, Mom was disappointed, but she gave in. She said, look, you have to be happy. I think it was pretty much done at home, but outside, aunts, uncles, oh my God, hell broke. So the words I heard, oh, you're going to wash cup plates all your life. You're going to peel onions, which I still do. And I look up to my aunts and say, Aunt, I'm still peeling onions. Can you believe it? So she gives a laugh. She says, okay, it is what it is, but you're happy. What you're doing is So my family has come around. Suddenly I have kind of become a favorite uncle, a favorite son. It has all come back to me. For some time, they disowned me. They didn't want to know me. But finally, I'm back in the family. I started my journey, and my dad helped me with something which was very critical to my career at that early age, and I thank him every day when I wake up in the morning. He said, you come from a Punjabi family, you're born and bred in East India. Why don't you choose a college in South India to understand your country and its cuisine well? And that's what I did. I went to Chennai. Those days it was Madras. I absolutely loved southern part of the country. When I arrived there, I didn't speak a word of Tamil. It was basic English, which would help me. Hindi, no way. They didn't speak a word of Hindi there. So it was like being in a new country. People looked different. Their attitudes were different. The food was very different. Not that I was alien to all that, but it was just getting to know them, living among them, day in, day out. And my career started from there. I studied well, and then I was very lucky to get into Oberoi School of Hotel Management for my kind of post-graduation. And Oberoi School only takes about 12 students from all over India, and India is a large country. So it was like winning a lottery, really. I was so chuffed that I got into Oberoi School. I was the only one from my college to get through that year. Those 3 years of grooming has really changed me from inside out. They didn't train me to be a chef. They trained me to be a better professional. I understood what a business needs. As a chef, what's your responsibility as a part of the business, how your behavior should be, how you should be speaking in public when you're out there. Cooking skill was done. I did my hotel degree, and they would brush it and they would train me in many years to come. But these were the basic fundamental things which people learn very late in life. I was fortunate to learn very early in my life, and that helped me to be who I am today. And so I'm so ever grateful to Oberoi School, and I got headhunted to come to London. I opened a restaurant called Tamarind as a head chef. I worked there from '94 until 2002. In 2001, I became the first Indian chef to get a Michelin star, which was a revelation. Never before an Indian chef was given a Michelin star, which was like amazing. Dedicated that star to my father because not only he helped me to be who I was, he had visited a couple of years before that to see if I was settling in well and I was doing okay. And he came to the restaurant and said, could you cook 3-course meal for me? Unusual about my dad because he was one plate man. Bring everything on, I'll eat and I'll go. So I said, okay, my old man has become a bit posh. I'll cook him 3-course meal, no problem. So I cooked 3-course meal for him, and I could see that he wasn't very pleased. I knew there's a telling off to happen soon. So he took me to Hyde Park. We walked 3 times the length and the breadth of Hyde Park. So I got a lot of telling off. And it was, you come from a very cross-cultural family. We are Punjabis, lived in East India. I sent you to South India. You worked around the country to know your basics. What did you learn? He said, look at your menu. Don't you think it's too Indian? I said, well, Dad, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm an Indian chef. You're just doing very, very simple stuff. And that's not the way to take cuisine forward. You have a responsibility. Lots and lots of amazing chefs were around me, working around me. He said, look at the menus. They're born and bred here. They use their Britishness to their advantage. They lean on the continental Europe. And as and when their experience allows them, they delve into ingredients. And he gave me a very classic example of Gordon Ramsay. He said, look at him. He's cooking monkfish, caught very locally, and he's using curry powder. He has the curry powder in his heritage. He's using it, and he's using his techniques, his skills to take it to next level. Why aren't you doing it? I kind of bulb lit in my mind. I said, he's absolutely right. I was a bit ashamed as well that I have not done this. And he said, you're not playing the seasons also. You're playing too safe. You're just playing with the ingredients you know well, and just you're not deviating. You're not venturing out. You're not pushing the boat out. I started training after that. I went to an English butcher. I trained with them for several months to understand how each and every cut works. Went to a fishmonger in North Sea and went out on this little dinghy deep into the sea. I won't tell you how many times I was sick, but it was an experience. I learned so much how the fishes landed. And then slowly my menu started changing. I was playful with my food. I was happy what I was doing. I would wait for wild salmon to come. I would wait for asparagus to appear. So it became a wonderful journey. Suddenly kitchen became a very exciting place. Before it was still exciting, but it was very regimental work. But from here on, it became a creative lab for me. I think Michelin noticed that and gave us a star. So I told my dad that I got a star. He didn't know anything about Michelin stars. He said, well, congratulations. I think you should take your team out and feed them really well, because without them, you wouldn't have achieved it. That's the first thing. And also, the same company actually sells tires in India. I said, Dad, it's the same company. He said, well, then forget it, move on. They're trying to sell their tires. They're not giving you stars. So I just laughed, actually. That was the whole ethos behind giving the stars to chefs. So he was very proud, very happy eventually. So my journey from Tamarind finished at end of 2002 because I found a couple of people who would help me to open my first restaurant, Benares. We opened the doors in 2003, and in 2007 we were given the star. Once things kind of started setting in properly, never lost it after that, till I left last year. Michelin stars are Oscars for chefs. It's the pinnacle of culinary industry. If you achieve a Michelin star, you have achieved a lot, no doubt about it. I don't underestimate it. What do you do to get a Michelin star, or what gets you Michelin star? I think it starts with the understanding of your art, your culinary heritage, your team, your organization. Above all that sits the most mundane word, consistency, but the most important word as well. To open the restaurant every day and polish the cutlery, polish the glasses, make sure everything is spick and span, no speck of dust anywhere. In the kitchen, same carrots being peeled, chopped, diced exactly to perfection the way it should be. Somebody's peeling the head of the prawns and keeping them aside meticulously. These are all mundane jobs, but they need to be done skillfully and artfully. Those are the tiny things which are incredibly important. When you show your sincerity in your skills, in your attitude, and in your plate, and in your service standards, that's what gets you Michelin. I wanted to do something new when I met Tina. Same ethos, great lady. She's got so many things to her accolade that I look like a baby in front of her. So she's an amazing person, great personality. So we opened Kanishka first, and Kanishka opened in early March. It's been only a few weeks, I would say, about 12 weeks now, 3 months. It's looking good. People are loving it. I'm very happy in the kitchen because I went and get inspired on a cuisine which even I didn't know much about. I thought I knew all about it, but when I stumbled upon food from Seven Sister States, which is in northeastern part of India, I looked at that and said, I don't know this cuisine at all. We have dumplings, we have soup, we have raw meat, we have techniques of fermentation, smoking, salting, things I haven't put to use. So how exciting it can be that I'm learning something new and I'll be putting that on my menu. I think we are a very unique Indian restaurant. We have normal Indian food, what people are used to of it, but we do it with a little bit of flair. And now I'm working on few recipes, and one of the most exciting recipe I'm working on, snails. Snails and Indian food, no way. Tell an Indian, he will run away. You taste it, you'll say, wow, this is amazing. Because in Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh, we have river snails, and people make beautiful curries out of it. I'll do it in a slightly modern way. So we are working on how to put it best on the plate. And there are many more exciting dishes we are working on. I'm looking forward to do them. So the menu of Kanishka is very unique. As we are exploring Seven Sister States culture and cuisine, there's very interesting phenomena that happened about 50 plus years ago when Dalai Lama moved from Tibet to India. A lot of Tibetan people also fled and they came to India to live. I think a large population migrated into Seven Sister States because they found that to be cold enough, mountainous. It kind of suited them according to their lifestyle. 50 years later, they are an integral part of that part of India. Nobody questions their culture and cuisine. They are embedded into what was then Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim. So they have made their home there. A lot of their culinary influences have influenced Indian food in that part. Soups like thukpa, momos, which are dumplings, tentuk, which is another type of noodle soup, kachela mas, which is the raw meat. All those things have come from them and kind of got mixed up with the local cuisine. So all those things are not part of normal Indian menus. And we are trying to bring them as a mainstream food here. And also the techniques of salting and the smoking and curing, they are part of Indian food, but they are not shown or showcased in a major way, whereas we do that. To be able to bring those tiny little details which are quintessential to portray that cuisine really well, I think we are touching all that and we are nudging them and we are making people sit up and think, wow, this is Indian food, but not the way we knew it. And I think that's where Kanishka is sticking. You're asking a father which child is your favorite. Very difficult to answer. One of the dishes which is currently on my menu and I absolutely love it and I think everybody should try that is lobster thukpa. So it's beautiful meat of lobster which has been poached in the stock itself, and then we give 2 little chicken dumplings with that. Soup and the seasonal vegetable. Right now peas and the carrots are right on top of the season, so we use them. Just lightly sauteed, beautiful garlic and chili flavor in there. So there's spice there, but it's still very light. It's very watery soup, not what people know in terms of Indian food. You look at that, this is not Indian, this can't be Indian, but that is Indian. When you dig into the dumpling and you eat that, you think the spices just come gushing out to your palate. I think those are the things which makes this particular cuisine tick in a big way because it's very unexpected. Another thing which we are slowly getting a name for and people are getting to know us really well, we do incredible kebab platter here. But we make that with flavors like chives, different types of herbs, which are quintessentially from that part of the world. All those things are very new flavors in terms of kebab platter as well. But it looks spectacular, it tastes amazing, and it's an experience by itself. So as a restaurant, there is bound to be a lot of food waste, no doubt about it. We try our best to reduce the waste as much as we can. So we came up with this idea that we'll keep all the trimmings from every day and vac pack and freeze them and keep them aside. At the end of the month, we'll make a fantastic menu out of it and we'll sell that menu for £25. I think one of my dish costs more than that in this restaurant. For £25, 3 courses is an amazing steal. So I wanted to give it at such a price that more and more people can come and support this. And all the money collected, we give it to Great Ormond Street Hospital. So that's the recent initiative. We call it Zero Waste Lunch. We do it once a month, every last Sunday of every month. Last one which we did, we had potato skin salad, so which was beautifully crisp fried, and we mixed some pastries with that, papri we call it, and then gave tamarind and yogurt chutney. And then for the non-vegetarians, we had duck hearts, and we made a salad of that, again roasted in tandoor, and then made a beautiful salad out of it. And for the main course, we had fish kofta curry, and for vegetarians, we had the veg kofta curry. And we gave a dal and rice and bread, and for dessert, we had given a rice pudding. It was simplistic affair, but tasted amazing. So everybody, we had about 40 people this time, and it was amazing. They absolutely loved it. It is very important to, simple food is often the best food in my opinion, but also that's the one which needs most of the technique as well. And also when you are using so-called waste and turning that into a good food, it takes an effort. Hotel management was kind of the last choice. It wasn't because you wanted to do it. People would go there because they didn't get into medical and engineering. So it was a kind of third or the fourth choice in their life. For me, it was the first choice. So I found it pretty astonishing. For long, Indian society has been very closed like that. They wouldn't open to new trades. Think about a child who can paint really well, but the parents would say, "What, you want to go and make Bollywood posters?" So that was the basic achievement they would want from them. So, how will you run your family? Anybody who would want to become a musician, they say, "What? You're going to go play on the trains so that you can make money for your family?" So you were put down very fast. You were not given chance to step up with your character, with your ability. That era has kind of slowly calmed down. I wouldn't say it has died down, it has calmed down. And there are families who say, "My son wants to be a fashion designer." Nothing wrong with that. My God, 30 years ago, if somebody said, "I want to be a fashion designer," he said, "What's wrong with you?" I think the world has changed a lot. It's slowly changing, and I'm so glad that when I see these young lads and lasses out of India coming out here, training with us, training with different chefs, going to amazing culinary schools, and heading back home to open their shops, open their restaurants, open their bakeries and pastry shops, whatever they want to do, or be in the hotels and become executive chefs. I've met so many young girls becoming executive chefs in the hotel. In my time, there was only one. I still remember her, and I admired her, who she was and what she stood for. Her name was Neeta Nagaraj. Tough lady. She worked for Taj Hotel. She was amazing culinary. Her skills, I think, second to none in this world. But she was tough. She was known to be tough. Perhaps being a woman in a kitchen which was dominated by men, she had to be that tough. But she wasn't scared. People were scared of her. I mean, like, bring it on. I like it. So she reminded me of my sisters. 4 sisters. They were not scared of anybody. I think the world has changed, and all for good. I look at the future for my daughter, confident little girl, 15-year-old. World is open for her. She can be whosoever she wants to be, whether here or India or wherever in the world. It goes a lot to the upbringing. I would like to reach out to everybody and say that, give your kids wings. Let them do what they want to do. Because if they do what they want to do, chances are they'll be the best in their field. So I've never told my children that they have to come. So just to tease them, I say, you have to come and start doing pot washing so I can reduce my labor cost a bit. But other than that, I don't want to push them for anything. They can do whatever they want to do. For me, standing in the kitchens with my grandfather, where the bread was being fermented, the way he would touch the dough and sense it, whether it's the right fermentation, dusting it on top, and then stoking the wood-fired oven. That was all of that was a heroic job for me. I was like a little boy looking at him, and I was totally mesmerized by his persona. And then I looked at my dad, worked in my dad's little kitchen with him. He would involve me at very young age. Said, "What do you think? What we should do?" I felt very involved. I felt I was doing something for the family. I was there with him. I was helping my father. I think that got me going. And then my dad slowly started pouring into my ears that, "Son, this is good. I love for you to come and help me and give a helping hand once in a while. But you have to follow your dream and your heart. And you have to have the education, nothing doing." So he was very strict that way. So he didn't let me wander off that, okay, after class 10th you can leave and come and join the business. It wasn't ever like that. You had to go for education. And I'm glad that he was like that, because At that age, you don't know what's good for you, and you know that what you want to become, and if it's happening in front of you, why go to the college? Just learn here. He said, no, it doesn't happen that way. You have to go and do your own thing. When my hotel career started, again he said, keep doing it. Good that you have this. Carve your own path. You don't have to come and walk my path. You have taken inspiration from it, that's good enough, but you do your own thing. When I got the opportunity to come to the UK, that's the only time I've seen him sad, because I think he felt that I'm gone now. I wouldn't be coming back home, and that was true actually. But he knew that that was good for me, and that's what I want to do. I think it's so important to understand early in your life that what you want. And if you understand that, and if you have that dream, or if you see that in your child, coax them to understand that better. Put them on the right path, because who knows? If he's a good footballer, we might have a new David Beckham in making, a new Picasso there, maybe a new Gordon Ramsay or Marco Pierre White in making. Genuinely, or Atul Kochhar. We should genuinely take interest in our children and see what they want to do and guide them at the right time. So to be able to do to be able to work on your dream, your path, you have to work hard. There's no denying. Who has got it easy? Nothing is easy, so you might as well work hard and make your life worthwhile. Make your life good enough so that you can live respectfully and give your family a proper shade, a proper roof, and give them a future. So for that, would you need to sacrifice? Yes, you would need to sacrifice. What do you sacrifice? Well, you will sacrifice time with them. You will sacrifice some of your hobbies. Sacrificing is part of human life. Let's get used to it. It's not going to end, to be honest. But we do it to get some pleasure out of it. So we might as well do it with a smile. So when I leave home every morning, there's a little chance that when I come home, my kids will be awake. So I wake up very early. I'm the designated breakfast cook at home. And whenever people talk to me about sacrifice, I've sacrificed nothing really. If I sacrifice 2 hours of my sleep to be with my kids for 2 hours, that's nothing. I love it. So these 2 hours in the morning are the golden time of my life. I wake up and be with them. Home where love is. That's how I see it. So for me, home is London, my wife, and my children. When I go to India, Mum's home is home, but that's a home that I left. I flew out of that nest. It still remains my home, but I guess me and Dipti are the ones who have made a home together. In a most simple way, I'll say, yeah, wherever love is, there is home. The best way to inspire the team, in my opinion, is to make them responsible, make them feel part of it. If I was the one who was doing everything, it'll be a job for them. I don't want them to feel it's their job. I want them to feel it's them who are doing it, not me. And I make them feel that every day. So I never say, I will fail. I say, we will fail if we didn't do that. We have to get this done. So you will notice that whenever I'm talking about my restaurants, it's always we for me, it's never me for me. I always say I'm a very democratic person. If I have a dish, I'll put on the plate and say, guys, this is how I see it, pick up the fork and take it apart now. And that's how we design our dishes. And they challenge me, they question me. So every dish comes together after a lot of consideration, a lot of tastings, and a lot of sessions like that, when everybody has agreed, or most of the heads have agreed that, yeah, this is what we want to put forward. And that's how my dishes qualify. It's not that I woke up one morning and thought, I'll be making a lobster dish today and it'll be on the menu tomorrow. No. It'll take weeks for me before I could put it on the menu, because it has to go through that checklist, through everyone, through their mind, through their hearts, through their palates. And then when we agree, it comes on the plate. It's just not my kitchen, it's my front of the house as well. Because if my front of the house is not willing to put that in front of a guest, it's not going there. It's not coming on the menu at all. So very important for me to make sure that everybody's on board what we do. When the service starts, you will notice I'm the most relaxed person in the whole restaurant, because I take a step back. I let kitchen work, I let front of the house work, and I kind of monitor very gently and nudge here and there. My job has become like a potter. I just shape things now. I don't make things anymore. I help them to be who they are, what they do best. And I think that part is the most important part as well in running any business. If I got on the people's way sometimes, it is only to correct them, but never to let them down or put them down, but only to guide them through that what should be the right way. I'm very happy to have a discussion later that maybe I was wrong, and I accept it if I was wrong. And times I'm wrong, to be honest. I'm not always correct. If I took everything upon me that I will run the front of the house or I will run the kitchen, I will not be that efficient. I will not be able to do so many things which I'm doing, then I will only run the kitchen. But it's my choice that I want to run many things now. I want to mentor, I want to have the financial hat on, I want to make sure that the service standards are met. So all those things are done prior to the service, or analyzed after the service, not during the service. So during the service, I'm just an observer sometimes. Most of the time these days, observer, not even mentor, I would say observer. Perfection. I want things to be perfect. I want things to be good. I want things to be calm. I want everybody at peace. I want everybody happy. And I strive for that every day. I do believe that you can be driven and be happy. Striving for perfection is very important. Whether you get it in 100% or not is a very big question. And I never draw a line that where I'll be satisfied. I do want 100%, no doubt about it. If possible, 110. But then I'm not crazy as well. You know, the people who strive that, I'm sure they're great, but they do it at the cost of many other things as well. I draw a line that if I cross that particular line, I'm quite happy. Being a good human is also very important to me. So I make sure that my decisions, while they're professional, I'm not demeaning anyone, I'm not degrading anyone, and I'm not belittling anyone. That's very important. Because anybody who came to work for me that day, I want him to go back with his head held high, that he had a great day at work and he achieved a lot. I want each and every one of them to feel like kings. I want them to have the ownership of the restaurant, and they have it on their shoulder, in their hearts and in their minds. And that's what makes it a winning team. There are times when you come across some individuals who don't suit the business, and you have to have that conversation with them. What can you do? You can be as nice as you want, but you don't risk other 45 or 60 people who are working for you. You are guardian of their interest as well. So you have to have those tough conversations. And I still do it with words that it doesn't hurt them. I make them understand that maybe their priorities lie somewhere else, not here. And maybe their interest lies somewhere else, not here. Maybe this is not the industry they want to be in, they want to be somewhere else. I don't remember falling out with anyone, to be honest. I always kind of shake hands with people and walk away as friends, even if we were not going to work together ever again. I would like to be described as a good human, a polite and a humble person, but at the same time, a great professional. I guess that's the question you got to ask one of my employees. Well, I guess I am. When it comes to standards and the quality of the food, I'm unforgiving. But it doesn't mean that I scream and shout. I tell them, this is not right and not acceptable. Get me the new one, which is the perfect one, and get on with it. And they know when chef says that, he means it, and they get on with it. Lentils are my weakness. Growing up in India, that's the best form of protein you get. So I think it was very easy for me to kind of get addicted to that. So I love lentils. I can eat lentils day in, day out. Best ingredient in the world. Home. When I'm not at work, I'll definitely be home playing cricket with my son. Or these days, trying to console my daughter and calming her nerves because she's going to do her GCSE. That's a big job, full-time job. So I've been to Antarctica twice now. Great Ormond Street Hospital is something I absolutely adore and love because it's amazing humanitarian effort there, in my opinion. Little children, if you can look after them, you can look after the world. That's been my ethos right from the beginning. I was given this opportunity a year before to go to Antarctica, but that was a commercial trip. The same company came back and said, would you like to come again with us? I told them, look, I want to take this money into my charity. He said, if you take into your charity, we'll pay you 25% more. I said, thumbs up. And I asked my chefs who were coming along with me, I said, guys, we're not going to make money. Do you still want to come? Otherwise, you know what? I can do it on my own. They said, no, we'll come. So they didn't charge me any money. The two of them came along and they gave me a helping hand. I went to Antarctica to do this fundraising. I raised some money on the ground and I raised some money when I was away. And I was among some of the very elite from India. They were really touched and they said, we would like to join the cause and pay charity as well. I love to do those things from time to time. So Antarctica is one of the most pure and pristine places in the world. You get to see that God made this world really beautiful. It is very cold there. According to the weather channels, I was there in summer, but the temperature was minus 17, minus 18 during the day. And during the night, it would fall down to minus 24. But I've been told in winter, the good weather is minus 50, and it can go to minus 70. And I don't want to be there that time. The problems are in a huge magnitude, to be honest, and running a restaurant is not an easy business. People who are not used to running restaurants, I tell them there are better ways to lose money. You have to be dedicated and 100% involved in the business of hospitality if you want to come into this business. That's the first and foremost advice. Also, we are going through a very funny times at the moment. We have Brexit happening. Politically, we are a very unstable country at the moment. The labor shortages are not easy. The finance is not easy as well. I'm not going to go and criticize the government on that, but there are some business policies which can be correct as well. So there are many challenges in front of us. Why restaurants fail? I think the less involvement from the owners, which is sometimes they don't even understand they have money, they think they can open a restaurant. Some people open the restaurant because they can cook well at home. They think they can own a restaurant. Wrong notion, because just cooking is not the part of it. There's whole lot of things that come together to make a restaurant happen. Location, and the last and the foremost, if you get the success with 1, 2 or 3, don't go greedy, don't go crazy, don't start planting 20, 30 more. 3 restaurants doesn't mean that they'll take you to 30 very quickly. Yeah, it's a number game, no doubt about it, but it's also the control game. The moment you grow too big, the control is going to go out of your hands. Do you have people around you who can control the business the way you want to, or the way you like to, or they carry the ethos you have? But for someone like me who likes to keep the control, who likes to make sure that the customer is looked after well, the back of the house is looked after well, the place looks pristine, one small slip and you're down the valley. It's a sure shot formula of failing as well. And I'm not here to fail. I'm here to succeed and make sure people who work with me, they succeed too. I'm most proud of my family, my kids, their achievements. They make me smile every day, they make me happy every day. And I'm most proud of my team. They are like family to me as well. Every little tiny success which comes in form of a wonderful comment or a card or a compliment, that puts a massive smile on my face. That makes me feel that I'm winning. A joke. Oh, that's a tough one. One mistake which I'm quite sad about and I regret every day of my life. And I wrote something on Twitter last year, which I'm not proud of. What you say and how you feel and what you write can be 3 very different things. I didn't feel the way I was writing. After all that happened, I look back, yeah, it brought me a lot of grief, to be honest, a lot of sadness and a lot of setbacks as well. I've learned a lot from them, and I've gone back saying, I'm a better person, I'm a stronger person. And this mistake will never happen, because only one thing I believe in, and that is my ability and humanity. And I'm never going to let myself down again. I do believe in luck. Sometimes people can work incredibly hard, but their times are not right and they don't get success. So yes, luck is very important. I wish there were no wars in the world. I'm going to try to stay as happy as I can and make people around me as happy as I can.